Hi students, our study today about simplify rational expression. We're going to start by the first section. Simplify, you know from before the simplify. For example, if you have x minus 1 over 5x minus 5, you must put in factor. Here I can put 5 because common divisor for both. So 5x divided by 5 is x, 5 divided by minus 5 is minus 1. So you can simplify x minus 1, x minus 1. I'm left with 1 over 5. More examples, students. Here I can simplify 21 and 7, remains 3 up, a square and a cube. So remains a power 1 down because 3 and 2 remains 1a down. Here, condition a cannot be 0, certainly. We cannot divide by 0. Here I have 4d plus 8. I can put 4. So I divide here by 4 and here by 4. So I get here d, and here 8 divided by 4 is 2. 18 and 4, you have common divisors 2. So it remains up 9 and down 2. And d square and d plus 2, you cannot simplify because d plus 2 is 1 unit. It's a parenthesis. I cannot simplify. For example, some students do a common mistake sometimes. They say d and d squared. We cannot. This is d plus 2. For example, if d is 5, I don't have 5 alone and 2 alone. I have 5 plus 2, which is 7. So I cannot simplify within the parentheses. So if I have a factor outside, like d outside, I can simplify it with d squared. And d cannot be minus 2. Here I cannot put anything in factor, but down I have 6 and minus 9. You have common divisor, which is the 3. So 6n divided by 3 is 2n. Minus 9 divided by 3 is minus 3. I have same parentheses. I can simplify. It remains 1 over 3. 2c squared plus 7, I cannot put anything in factor. Here I have a 26 and 91. I have 13 in factor. You can check it. C and C cube, we have C power 1 because we put the least one. Now, if you divide 26 C cube by 13C, you're going to get 2, and C cube C squared. And if you divide 91C by 13C, C and C cancel out. 91 divided by 13 is 7. So I can cancel these two and remains 13C. Let us continue now. Some note before we start. We took the equation of second degree with me before we do delta to find the roots. First of all, if x is equal to a is a root, then x minus a is a factor. For example, if x equal to 2 is a root, so x minus 2 is a factor. You have an equation of second degree. You know that the product x prime x double prime of the root is c over a. I know you can factorize, you can do delta. For example, if you have two roots, one and you get one of the root is 2 and the other root is minus 3, we used to do what? We used to put a in factor and x minus 2 and x plus 3. We can factorize always of that sort, but sometimes, not to waste time in doing delta or doing a mistake, we can do some techniques that will help us to factorize without doing delta. One of these, if it works, if you have ax squared plus bx plus c, if you replace x here by 1, you get a plus b plus c, and the answer will be 0, then 1 is a root and the other root will be c over a, because here in this case one of the root is 1, the other root x double prime is c over a. Let us take an example. Here, if you replace x by 1, you're going to get 1 minus 4 plus 3. So 4 minus 4 is 0. So 100% 1 is the root. So the first factor here will be x minus 1. Now to find the other factor, I have two techniques. Either I say it's c over a, which is 3 over 1. So it will be minus 3. Or I say x times what equal x squared, or x squared divided by x is x. 3 divided by minus 1 is minus 3. So all I need to check, x times minus 3 is minus 3x. So minus 1, I check the boundaries. So minus 3x minus x is minus 4x, so 100% correct. Or I use c over a. Here another example. If you replace x by 1, you're going to get 2 minus 5 plus 3. So 5 minus 5 is 0. So one of the root is x minus 1 factor. Now, if I want to find the other factor directly, I say 2x squared divided by x is 2x. And 3 divided by minus 1 minus 3. So 100% this is correct. Let us check the middle term. Minus 3x minus 2x is minus 5x, which is correct. Or you can find the other root by c over a, which is 3 over 2. You have here minus 3 over 2, and you have the 2 you expanded inside as we used to do before. But I prefer this method faster. And if you have a minus b plus c is 0, for example, if you replace here x by minus 1, what do you get? A minus b plus c is 0. So in this case, one of the root is minus 1, and you can find this method to find the other root, or we do minus c over a, since one of the root is minus 1, so the second root will be minus c over a. Let us take here an example. If you replace x by minus 1, you're going to get 2 plus 5 minus 7. So it works 0. 7 minus 7 is 0. So the first root will be x plus 1 because minus 1 opposite sign. Now what do we do? 2x squared divided by x is 2x. Minus 7 divided by 1, here 1 minus 7. Let us check the boundary. Minus 7x plus 2x is minus 5x. Or we used to do it as we did in second degree, the old method. One of the root is minus 1. The other root is minus c over a. You put coefficient of x squared, which is a in factor. You have x plus 1 and x minus 7 over 2. You multiply here by 2. So to get this one. But I prefer the trial and error is better than putting in factor. It's more safe for us to find the roots. So let us continue. Let us take example about these. Here you have 3x minus 6. You can put 3. You're going to get x minus 2. Because I want to simplify, there is something to be simplified. So certainly I start by x minus 2 and I check my work. So I say, suppose I have down x minus 2. So x squared divided by x is x. Minus 6 divided by minus 2 is plus 3. Let us check. 3x minus 2x. 3x minus 2x is x. So 100% this factorization is correct. So I can simplify by x minus 2. I'm left with this one. So I know someone will tell me, let us do delta b squared minus 4ac and do the roots. Once we have the root, we're going to get one of the root is 2, the other root is minus 3, so we can factorize it. But most probably by induction, sometimes it's better because I have x minus 2 up. Let us try x minus 2 before thinking of delta. Here I can put 2 in factor. I have x minus 4. So directly I think of x minus 4 down. Let us check if this works. So x squared divided by x is x. Minus 8 divided by minus 4 is plus 2. So if you multiply 2x minus 4x, 2x minus 4x minus 2x, this is correct. So my factorization is correct. So instead of wasting time in delta, so we use this method. But sometimes if you are not able to do it, so we go to delta. So it's 2 over x plus 2. X cannot be minus 2. Here I can put the 3 in factor. I have a minus 1. As you can see here, a plus b plus c is 0. 1 minus 3 plus 2 is 0. So 100% a minus 1 is up. A squared divided by a is a. And 2 divided by minus 1 minus 2. If you want to check, a times minus 2 minus 2a minus a minus 3a. 100% is correct. So I can simplify these two and remains by a minus 2 over 3. Here I can put 6 in factor. So I divide here by 6 and here by 6. I have z plus 2. So directly, instead of doing this method, I'm going to do the method that I told you about. So since z plus 2, so I can put directly down z plus 2. Then I say 2z squared divided by z is 2z. And 6 divided by 2 is 3. Let me check the middle term. 3z plus 4z is 7z, 100%. So I have z plus 2 and z plus 2 cancel out. I'm left with 6 over 2z plus 3. or you can find by delta whatever, but this method by induction is way better. Here I have c square minus c minus 6 over, so second degree over second degree. I don't have a clue for a root, but you can see, for example, you can do delta, or you can do to check, for example, some divisors of minus 6. If some divisors of minus 6, it works, so it will be better, or you can go and do delta. So divisor of 6, you can start by 2. If you start by 2, 4 minus 2 minus 6, 4 minus 2, 4 minus 8 is not 0. You can check minus 2, 4 plus 2, 6, 6 minus 6 is 0. So minus 2 is a root. So c plus 2 is a factor. Then compare c squared divided by c is c, minus 6 divided by 2 minus 3. Or else, if you find difficulties, you can do delta. For denominator, let me start by c plus 2 and check if it works. C squared divided by c is c. 6 divided by 2 is a 3. If I multiply here, 3c plus 2c, 5c, correct? So I can cancel these two. I'm left with c minus 3 over c plus 3 under condition c cannot be minus 3. More, another note, if you have x minus 3 and down 3 minus x, you can put minus outside. You're left with minus 3 plus x. You can cancel, it's minus 1. So from now and on, without thinking, a minus b, and if it's switched down, b will be the first and a will be the last, and minus, it's minus 1. For example, if you have 2 minus 3y over 3y minus 2, it's the same but opposite sign. So directly, this is minus 1. Okay, you can simplify it to minus 1. Don't forget that a square minus b square is a minus b into a plus b. So here, if you have 4 minus x squared, it's of that form, 2 minus x into 2 plus x. Here I can put 7 in factor, divide here by 7 and here by 7. What do you get inside? X minus 2. 2 minus x and x minus 2, using this property, you put minus before and 2 plus x over 7. Let us take some more examples. 2x minus 5 and 5 minus 2x. Directly, it's minus 1. Here you have y squared minus 16. So y minus 4, y plus 4 over a of the form a squared minus b squared, the one we talked about it here. Okay, so you can simplify y minus 4 and 4 minus y and put minus before y plus 4. And you can write it as minus y minus 4, or you can keep it as it is. Here I have 3 minus 90. So because I have an equation of second degree, I'm going to start by minus d, writing it plus 3. So here I can put, as you can see, 3 in factor. So I put the minus 3 in factor. Since I want to put minus 3, I divide here by minus 3. I'm left with the 3d. And here by minus 3 minus 1. Let us check. Minus 9d plus 3. So since I have 3d minus 1, 1 of the factor, I'm going to write it down. So 6d squared divided by 3d is 2d. Minus 1 divided by minus 1 is plus 1. Let us check if this factorizing is correct. So 3d minus 2d. 3d minus 2d is d. So 100% it's correct. So I can simplify these two. I'm left with that one. Denominator cannot be 0. 2d plus 1 not 0. 2d not minus 1. d not equal minus half condition. On the same as I did up, minus 3z plus 3. I can put the minus 3 in factor, so I'm left with z minus 1. If you divide here by minus 3 and here by minus 3. If you divide here by minus 3, you're going to get z. Here 3 over minus 3 minus 1. So directly I take z minus 1. This is also of the form, we can put 2 in factor. So this is simple. Z square minus 1, a minus b into a plus b. I can cancel z minus 1, z minus 1. I'm left with minus 3 over 2 into z plus 1. And z cannot be minus 1 because I cannot divide by 0. As you can see, this section is easy. All you need to factorize and simplify. I want you to do this homework. This problem. For example, here you don't have up m plus 6. So directly you start down by what? M plus 6. This is m. And you check m squared divided by m, it's m, some hint, and minus 42 divided by 6 is minus 7. Let us check if it's correct. Always check. Minus 7m plus 6m is minus m. I can simplify these two, so the answer will be the final one, 1 over m minus 7. Here you can put 5 in factor. You have a plus 1, so you check up by a plus 1. This is a square minus b square. Here you can put w in factor. Here you can put 2x in factor, down 3x in factor. So if you put up 2x in factor, some hence, so this will be x, 2x squared divided by 2x. This is a plus 1, for example. And down also you can put 3x and you continue. Here, this is an equation of second degree up and second degree down. You can do delta, or you can check by trial and error, divisors of 12. I'm not going to take positive value because it cannot be 0 since all positive. For example, if you take minus 2, 4 plus 12, 14 minus 14, so it works. Minus 2 is a root, so one of the root up will be m plus 2. Or you do delta. To find the other root is very simple, as we said. You compare m squared divided by m, it's m, and 12 divided by 2, 6. Now, what do you do down? 6 is not divisors of 8, so I go directly to m plus 2, and you can find the other root. I want you to do these problem, okay? So this problem must be, you must do it as homework. And you have here more problems on that page also. If you realize here, for example, if you have something difficult to do, you can go and do delta, all right? Here, for example, a plus b plus c is 0. In one of the root is 1, you have yani z minus 1, and the other root you continue it by trial and error. So, for example, here it will be z minus 3 divided by plus, so plus 3, z plus 3 down. Now you can check up by z plus 3, since if you replace by 1, it cannot be 0. If you put z plus 3, what will be the other factor? If you, instead of doing delta, so 7z squared divided by z is 7z, and 6 divided by 3, 2. Just you check. So 2z, sorry, plus 21z is 23, so correct. So you can cancel, simplify z plus 3, z plus 3, you're left with this one. If you find sometimes some difficulties, you can do delta and you can factorize it. I want you to do this problem as homework and see you in school. Thank you for listening.